All right, let's have a look at BigBear, BBAI. I want to be pretty short with this one. There are two things I want to mention: implied volatility, the range of the stock, option activity. So let's start with the chart. So last time we talked about this chart, we were talking about, can it go to break out 10 and possibly hit 15? Still watching those levels, but again, earnings report not until March 6th. So couple weeks, 2 more weeks, I guess. But what is happening here is 3 days of a decline, stock below its 5-day moving average. So automatically, anytime stock is trading below 5-day SMA, momentum is gone for me, personal. Anytime stock trades above 5-day, momentum still to the upside. But so far, unless the stock gets back above $10 quickly, I am not watching BigBear to the upside. Downside, I'm watching 750 as a support, and I'm watching 6 as a support. So volume, again, declining. The reason why I'm bringing it up is because you have to be careful with the IV, implied volatility. So I mentioned it many times as a average true range. So average true range for BigBear, you can see it was throughout that move where it was sitting around like $3, $4, $5 levels. It was moving with like 50 cents range, and all of a sudden, when stocks started pushing to these highs, like 200-300% move, when it moved from around $4 to $10, it basically got up to $1.09. So what does that mean? So as IV crushes, the range gets tighter. And if you're somebody who's naked buyer of calls or puts, you might still experience a decay, especially the ones you are trading outside of the money. You may not be able to, those contracts may not appreciate as fast as you think. And even though they might go in your favor, in your direction, if it's call or put, but because it does it with a slower pace, with a lower volume and tighter range, those calls can lose value, because anything you are buying at the moment has premium baked into it. IV has been jacked up, so now market makers have a higher IV baked into the price of contracts. At any time frame you want to look at it, you can take a look at the IV, 185% for next week, 180%, 180%. So it's very high for me, even though it's a cheap stock, but you're essentially having the IV double in a matter of a few trading sessions. That's why I'm showing it this average true range, this line right here. You can see from 50 cents, it has gone up to like $1.06. So this is gonna decline as stock pretty much just tries to chop around these levels, or maybe even come down. That will cool off as volume goes back to normal. So today's volume from this breakout of $5, this is the lowest volume ever, actually. So you can see the highest, we had 270 million volume. That was obviously short squeeze, okay? And then the previous day, Friday, we had 83 million. Today's volume, 58 million. That's very low, and this is what's going to happen. So as volume goes back to its normal range, this is the average range for this, looks like roughly 50 million, 45, 50 million. So if it goes back to that level, stock will move with a tighter range. So that's something I wanted to mention. In terms of put to call ratio and option activity, today I didn't see much call buying activity. 84,000 calls traded, 27,000 puts traded. Yes, there's more calls, but 35% of these calls were sold at the bid, so traded at the bid, meaning those could have been just sold. Okay, it could be people who held it from the previous week, and then they just decided to sell it out, or it's pretty much somebody doing a covered call. So basically 35%. And then that's not a lot for me, actually. I want to see more people buying at the asking price, and at the same time I want to see a lot of people buying in the money calls. So there are some calls, but these are not significant calls for me personally. So it looks like in the morning somebody bought $10 call, but for 2026. So essentially somebody paid $3.45, 500 contracts. That's the only like long dated standing out. But ultra short term, I'm not seeing much. Like all these $10 calls that came in that are expiring this week, they're already down 50%. From whatever the price level they bought it in the morning, those people are down 50%. And it's far, I mean, it's far outside of the money at this point. So this stock has to move at least 20% in order, like 15, 18% in order for those people to be at the money. So I'm not watching this name to the upside unless it breaks $10. So I think it's in a correction, maybe pullback stage. So 750 watching, and then watching 20-day moving average of $6.10. This video is purely for entertainment and education purposes only. I'm not telling you to buy or sell. Take care. Peace. See you in the next update.